All right, we have an exciting video here today. We are actually going to talk about the state of people relocating from California to Arizona. And we have our great friend, Louis Vizcaino from Patriot Pacific. He's going to, do a quick introduction, tell us about his journey, how he became a loan officer. Louis, real quick, how long have you been a loan officer for, and where did you get started at?
I got started. I was in retail for 7 years, right? I managed the retail store at the mall from 2013 to 2020. In 2020, they actually closed my store. I had the number one store in the country
Oh, wow.
in our company, and they actually closed that store. So I got the call that they were going to close the store, and I laughed because I thought they were joking. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they closed my store. To be honest, I mean, I wanted to change. I want to do something different. So I took that time off during COVID, and I remodeled my kitchen and did a bunch of stuff around the house. I put some new flooring, myself. Towards after about 8, 10 months, I know I needed to go back to work, but I wasn't sure where. I didn't have an idea. And my wife has a hair salon, and one of her clients was a branch manager at Guild Mortgage.
Okay.
He used to tell my wife a message, hey, I have something for your husband. Tell him to give me a call. And I talked to him, and I'm thinking he's gonna want me to like remodel his kitchen and do floors for him. And I was like, I really don't want to do that, right? Like I respect what those guys do, and it's a lot of work, and I did, and I'll do it again, but I just didn't want to do it. I was nervous. So I went in to talk.
Yeah.
Was, hey, I got this position for as a loan officer. Do you want to do it? And I said, well, I don't know. What does it entail, right? It sounds really nice, and it sounds, fancy, and it sounds interesting from afar, but what does it entail? And he kind of like, shed some light on it, and I just jumped in.
Wow, that's awesome. So you did you ever have a fear of starting this? Did you ever?
To be honest, I when I thought of loan officers and the mortgage industry, I didn't feel qualified, at that time.
Mhm.
But being in the industry now for a little bit, I know that I'm qualified. Um, the regular people that have a specific knowledge base, it's kind of, none of them went to MIT, or very very few of them are engineers, or so it's not, it's not what I had my perception to be. So they're
Okay,
smart.
yeah.
The good ones are smart. Like, don't get me wrong. But you don't need a 4 year degree, or you don't need a, none of, you don't go to university for it. But it's so yeah, it was something that I never thought that I could do.
Yeah.
I was ignorant. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, it's almost like you didn't know what you didn't know and you went in there with an open mind.
That's it. That's it.
And
That's it.
it seems to be working out great for you. So you're in Yuma, Arizona, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you were born and raised there?
No, I was actually born in Upland, California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you know where Ontario,
Yeah.
Rancho Cucamonga, the neighborhood, right? So I was born in
Yes.
Upland, and I lived in Upland. We lived in Pomona, Rialto for a bit, but my mom divorced when I was a kid, and I've been here since maybe like 1984,
Okay.
Yuma. So I've lived here in Yuma. I lived in the East Valley, Chandler, Gilbert. I was there for 8 years, and then I came back here in 2008, 2009. We had a business. Um, Now I'm married. I'm part of the community. Kind of, I'm here now. I'm here permanently.
Yeah, and kind of what got us meeting together was through a colleague, because you work at Patriot Pacific, and they are opening up different branches, or just getting licensed in different states. I think the last one was Michigan, where they just got licensed.
Right.
um, but they're kind of all over, in Florida, Texas, Arizona, California.
Sure.
And so, you know I was actually able to help you on one of your events that you did. And you
Two
want to
of
go
them.
into a little bit of who you help serve, kind of, in your area, like who's your primary people that you serve.
Well, I mean, we help everybody, right? Personally, I love first time home buyers. Anybody that's been told no somewhere
Hmm.
else. Like that's really what I like to do. But we have a strong focus on. We have a military base here, so we have about We have a Marine base here, which has about 5,000 Marines. So that's kind of what we focus on. Patriot Pacific
Hmm.
uh, is our veterans. So anybody active duty, anybody that's not active duty, that's moved on. We also have a lot of border patrols. We're near the border, so we have border patrol.
Okay.
We have something called Yuma Proving Ground, where it's an army location where they test things, and it's a kind of a government. It's like a little city actually,
Yeah.
and we have a lot of our vets out there too. So that's a focus. We help everybody. Um,
But it's a big
but
community
correct.
of
Yeah.
active
Yeah,
military.
active duty vets. Also, we do interesting fact about Yuma is 90, like I think 92% of your iceberg lettuce comes from here. Like
Oh,
all
okay.
over the
Yeah.
country, right? So we
Yeah.
have we have a big population that's our ag workers.
Okay.
So
Nice.
between ag workers and the military base, that's probably 90% of the town. So
Awesome. So people that come in from, different military backgrounds, where do you see them mostly coming from? Is it, like California? Is it Texas, South Carolina? They're probably coming from everywhere, but where
yeah,
do you see the majority?
North Carolina. We see North Carolina. We see California quite often. Texas. Um, that's pretty much where the bulk of them, and they come from other
Yeah.
places, but yeah, that's pretty much that's most of them.
Outstanding. And so, this video is really going to be helpful for anyone relocating to not only just Yuma, but Arizona. So, this video we're gonna really dive into why make the move to Arizona, and we're not just gonna talk about Yuma, but we're gonna talk about Arizona as a state. Because there's a lot of great places out there, and if you're looking to make a move, Lewis is the guy to go to because he can definitely educate you on the loan process, the home buying process, and put you in touch with a realtor in your area. So just don't think if you're just moving to Yuma that you can only use him. And he can pair you up with reputable agents that he had built relationships. But if you're anywhere in Arizona, feel free to reach out to him. His number can be found right here on the screen. And so let's dive in. And the first question I want to ask is, everyone wants to know is, well, what does the current housing market even look like in Arizona in general? Let's talk about Yuma and kind of open it up to, what are the other potentially high places that people would relocate in Arizona? You got Phoenix, you got Tucson.
Right,
Um,
right.
so why don't you take us there for a little bit?
I mean, let's talk about Yuma since that's what I know the most. I mean, I think the median list price right now is like 374.
It's
So
very
it's
affordable.
super compared to California, folks. I was just looking at a condo, I think up in your area, and it was selling for 370, right? So it's a 505 square foot condo, tiny, right? I have a contract right now for a brand new construction, not even done, is 300 and less than 302, 1,200 square
Wow.
feet, a 3.2. The other thing is in Yuma, taxes are still very affordable. I have somebody in a contract here in a neighboring town. I think his taxes are $900 for the year. Um,
Wow.
my house is in the center. My house is a little bit older, right? My house is built 1945, right? That's not,
Okay.
I don't recommend you buy an old house unless you want to be a part-time contractor, right? But but my taxes
Put
are
some of that sweat
a
equity
lot
inside
of
the home.
sweat, a lot of sweat. It's hot out here, so that's call me first before before you buy it.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
so my taxes here are like $1,000 a year.
Wow.
Whereas, I mean, just comparing like to your area, the taxes for that condo were $5,000 and change, and then the HOA another 5,000. So I mean, that's 800 some dollars just taxes and HOA. So it's wildly different from anywhere in California to come to Yuma. The trade-offs are it is hot, you know what I mean? So it's July, August, September, it gets kind of warm. You will see weather in 115, 118 for a couple of days or a week. So that's kind of the trade-off.
Hmm.
Affordability, if you have X amount of capital or you're making X amount of money and you can move, it's a good place to set up.
Yeah, you brought up a good point with the temperature being 115. Can you elaborate how these homes are built to withstand that type of temperature? Does all the homes have ACs? How cold does it get during the winter? Like, talk about the weather a little bit.
So every home has AC, right? You're gonna have to, you have AC
Got
in your
it.
car. Yeah, you have AC and multiple ACs, maybe,
Hmm.
yeah, it's just something you consider. You got to make sure that there's extra maintenance on the AC. You get the AC guy out every year and make sure it's running. But I mean, everybody here's surviving. Your car has AC.
Hmm.
It's just more uncomfortable, but I mean, it's survivable. We're in modern times, and most houses, like I said, my house is built in 1945, and when I bought it, it didn't have insulation.
Oh,
So we
wow.
actually had to put in, like in the walls, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Because attic is one thing, but putting it in the walls is a whole nother
oh
thing.
yeah, the walls were hot to the touch.
Yeah.
So that was quite a bit of work. But once that's in, it's still we have a modern AC, so it's still survivable. It's not
Yeah.
comfortable to where you're not really excited to mow the lawn or do anything outside. But other than that, I mean, it's we deal with it. We deal with it.
Yeah. No, that's great. Because people moving from California to Arizona, they might have that question of like, the weather's one thing I have to deal with, but like what other challenges or considerations that do you think people would have making the move over to Arizona, anywhere in Arizona? What do you feel?
Well, when I lived in the East Valley, it was much more the population much more dense. So,
Hmm.
but also what I miss is the opportunity to go to different restaurants. In a small town of about 120,000 people, you don't have that as often. Like so entertainment can kind of go down, right? So if you're like me and you like to go eat and experience different restaurants, like that was something that I missed.
Okay, yeah.
So there's no like, you have to travel to go to an amusement park or if you have a major event for work, it's probably going to be in Phoenix. So that's kind of, we're kind of a little disconnected in a sense
Okay.
for entertainment. But other
So
than go ahead.
so when you travel to Phoenix or, somewhere where there's a venue that you would have to travel to for an event or, just any type of getaway, can you elaborate more on like how long would it take you to drive to Phoenix from, somewhere like Yuma or
Yuma's 3 hours away. We
okay, so that's
also
not bad
traveled
at
to
all.
Tucson. Yeah, I think you saw we had an event in Tucson. So
Hmm.
Tucson's 3.5 hours away.
Okay,
So it's not terrible, right? It's not.
exactly.
Yuma does have an airport. It's not,
It's not totally out of the
it has an airport, it has running water,
yeah.
it's the century, um there are some flights to Texas and I think they added Vegas. I'm not sure, but they keep adding more flights, but we don't have a major airport, so anything if you're traveling across the country, you go to Phoenix and so that can be kind of inconvenient.
Yeah, no, definitely. And honestly, even if you did have to travel, there really isn't that much traffic out there, would you say?
Yuma is even though the traffic is increasing over the past couple of years, we notice it. It's nothing compared to when I lived in Chandler. If I drove 30 minutes to work, I was grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now when I was working at the office, it was 2 minutes away.
Oh yeah.
4 minutes, you know what I mean? So it's nothing compared to you can probably drive across town in maybe 18, 20 minutes.
All right, so the next question that I kind of have is what challenges do you think people would have moving from outside of Arizona and moving into Arizona? Like maybe walk us through the process of what that looks like and what challenges people might even have when making the move.
You mean, let's say somebody's coming from your area into
Yeah, California or Texas or just anywhere in general.
the only thing I can see is the basic problems. I mean, you have to pick a property, right? Are you able to view it in person?
Hmm.
You're not. You have to get a. It's one thing to see some experience. One thing to see a property photographs, on a listing, and then when you see it in person, it can be different, right? It can
Yeah, you
definitely.
definitely have to experience the home.
You
You
have
have
to
to
see, yeah,
visualize.
and then the photos usually don't show the neighborhood.
Yes.
Right. So that would be another thing. Then you want to make sure on the lending side just to be maybe overly prepared. Have
Okay.
everything in order before for don't leave anything that can cause a delay and you possibly not having a place to stay. If that's the case, if you're moving for work or you don't have, they can be expensive to stay in a hotel. Um, aside from I would, if it was me, I would say you probably want to visit the place and just check it out and see if it's
Take
something.
like a 4 or 5 day vacation out
At
there.
least, would check the neighbor when I talk to people that are making the transition.
Hmm.
So are you aware of the summer? I just want you to be aware. Oh yeah, we're good. We're good. We're gonna be vacationing, or yeah, we've been there. Most of the people that I find that are moving to Yuma specifically, they've already been here and they love it. So they're
Hmm.
down here and they're renting, and we have a big population that we call snowbirds, which they're people that are retired and they live in like Canada or Oregon, and they travel here for the weather during the winter.
Okay.
That Montana is very frozen. Michigan's very frozen, so they'll travel
Yes.
down here or upstate New York. I got a client. We're kind of become friends, and he's upstate New York, and he's got to shovel snow, and he's not getting no younger. So he's looking at a place. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
he's looking to come down
absolutely.
here, and just kind of probably make it permanent. Maybe just deal with a few months of heat. So that's what I talked to a lot of people on the phone, and some of them, I got a customer, she's in Flagstaff, which is very cold, but it's beautiful trees, right?
Hmm.
We don't have trees here, right? And, so she's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, I'm coming to you." And I said, "Why? What? Yeah, are you sure?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm tired of the cold." And they're from Yuma. So I mean,
Yeah.
you want to make sure people know what they're getting into. It's a great place. It just, yeah, you have the small town, um, type of feel, and then you have the summers. But aside from that, it's very cost effective. When I was young, it kind of made me anxious when I was like 28. Geez, I could drive across town in 10 minutes. It kind of made me give me anxiety to a sense. And now I love, it's different now. I'm 45 now. I have a family. I'm married, so it's different. So
Yeah.
if it's a right place for certain people. But I have family that's in California, and I'm like, hey, why don't you, stop. If you have a certain pool of money, you
Yeah.
come down here and you can do very well. Just you're going to spend some of that on like, your air conditioner in a few months, but that's all.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Did I answer your question? I don't know if
no, it does. It
I.
does.
But let's say you need to sell your home before you buy another one.
Hmm.
We do have a program that will bridge that. But
Yeah.
it's not state specific. Does that make sense? So like you
Yeah.
have a home in Montana and you need the money from that to buy your new home. We have a program that will bridge that for you. And it will actually guarantee that they'll buy your home or you'll sell your home. So that's kind of a common, but it's not, they're not worded where it's state specific. It's kind
Yeah.
of just
It's just a benefit you can
it's benefit.
utilize.
Yeah, it's kind of like just fixing a common problem.
Exactly. Awesome. So, in your opinion, what are some of the greatest advantages or just benefits of living in Arizona, from people relocating from California?
Cost of living, 100%. Yeah, cost of living. So um in my community specifically, I mean, we've all seen the home prices, specifically here as well, but it's still, if you compare it to, I mean, any size town in California, it's not even close. So if you're starting out or you have X amount of pool, you can work remote and you want to get something going, if you're investing in real estate or you just want to, set up your family, Arizona is the way to go. Yuma is fantastic. Not everybody wants to live in Yuma. So the Phoenix area, there's even affordable homes on the West Valley in Phoenix, where kind of on the outskirts, not centralized Phoenix, and on the
Okay.
extreme East Valley. So that's the costs are going up, but in comparison to I mean your market, a lot of markets in California, it's not even close, and including taxes.
Yeah, no, which is great because, I think Arizona has something for everyone. It has some really affordable housing out there, towards Yuma. But then you also have different areas that are just a little bit more, higher priced homes,
Yeah.
but give you a little bit more of those amenities, a little bit more of that culture in that area.
Yeah, that's
Um,
it.
so yeah, what would be, if you were going to break it down, what would be like the top 5 places in Arizona that people would look to relocate to? We have Yuma. Maybe since you're in Arizona, you do loans all the time. So what do you think the top 5 places are that you're seeing a lot of activity of people moving into?
I mean, we see them in my market, so I see a lot in Yuma. top five places in Arizona. Anything located in Phoenix. The valleys are growing. My stepson's out in Peoria, so that's
Okay.
really, it's actually affordable housing out there. So he can buy a house. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, it just depends. Anywhere near Phoenix or the southern part, you're golden.
Yeah.
Flags. If you get a little bit north down to Prescott, you got more like vacation homes, and there's snow and trees, so the prices can get a little bit. They're on the up end, right? So
Yeah.
my client, I think, she's selling her home for maybe 650. In
Mm-hmm.
you, the top houses, they're probably at 800. Like
Okay.
palaces, like just something um, very high end homes, right?
Yeah,
Whereas
exactly.
if you go to let's say Gilbert, Arizona, which is in the East Valley, that's probably a regular price.
Yeah.
700 is a regular price, right? And then if you go where you're from, that's a one bedroom, right? Or something like that.
Yeah. No, it
Right? It could be a two bedroom, right? So
well, kind of put it in perspective, the average price for an Anaheim home is around 845,000
average.
average for
What
Anaheim.
are,
Orange
what are,
County average is 1,000, or
what
I'm
are the
sorry, not
specs?
$1 million home.
What are
Anyway,
the specs on the average home?
the 3 bedroom, 2 bath,
Okay.
average. But some homes go as high as 5 bedroom, 4 bath, 5 bath.
Okay. Now we're
So
talking.
you're looking at 2,000 square foot, homes. My home is 12, almost 1,300 square foot,
Uh-huh.
and it's got a 6,000 square foot lot. So we have a lot of land,
That's a lot of land for California where it's very tight, right?
Yeah, but we live in Anaheim, so we're able to get more value for our
What's your
dollar
house
out
worth
here.
right now?
I'm sorry?
What is your house worth right now?
It's probably somewhere around like 750, 800 right now.
If you,
But
I can show you an 8 unit out here for about that
yeah,
price.
I believe it. So I have no doubt that anyone in California that's selling their property, unless you live out in like Bakersfield or Fresno area where those homes are around 300,000, two
Right.
fifty. But anywhere else in California in the major metropolitan areas are going to be able to sell their home, buy a property, heck, maybe even buy a second property for the value of their home.
There's
You know?
people walking around here that they got on the early side of it maybe 5 years ago, and one lady I think sold her house in West Covina.
Okay.
Said she spent a lot. She said she was. If I remember correctly, she's paying $18,000 a year in taxes. That's what you told me, right? She bought a house here with a brand new house with a pool, and I think I had like 200K left over or something. Like
Yeah.
something on the earth. She got on. I'm sure that home was worth another couple 100,000 because this is some time ago, right?
Yeah.
But even not too long ago, 5 years ago, there was apartment complexes out here you can buy for 350. Not
Wow.
anymore. Not anymore, right? But that was that was the kid. I bought my house for 105. I bought my
Wow,
house for
that's
105
outstanding.
2016, right? And my
So
month
like let's go back to that 105,000 for a home. You put any type of loan product on there for, a down payment, like 20% of that is just $20,000.
why came
And
in for $3,000. I mean, I don't
yeah,
know.
that's easily apartments out here or any type of rentals out here are
Yeah,
at least looking at your bank account and requesting that you have 3 times the amount of rent saved up. So people are expecting to have at least $12,000 in their bank just to rent out here.
really?
Yeah,
I
like
didn't know. That's wild.
once again, if anyone's considering making a move to Arizona, reach out to Lewis. He can definitely help guide you in the right direction when it comes to the home buying process. Very knowledgeable in the area, also how to, get your loan locked in. He'll lay out the financials you'll need. Down payment. Do you guys have any down payment assistance programs out there, or is it,
Of course, of course. There's
yeah,
two.
so if
That's
if
another
you're
hour
even
video. Yeah, we have plenty. Yeah, many to choose from. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And so, I'm pretty sure just a conversation with Lewis will get you all the answers you need to know. And once again, I want to thank you again for hopping on this call, kind of shedding some light on what it's like because, as I'm going out there door knocking, I'm having conversations with people that a lot of their friends and family have just moved out of the state and I think providing education and understanding of what it's like outside because we have Tennessee, Texas, Nevada, Arizona, and there's all these places that are seeing growth and movement. So even though California is a great place to live, we've kind of reached this high peak. And so if you're looking for other options out there, at least explore other options on what could be beneficial for you, especially if you're looking for opportunity out there. And thank you a lot, Louis. It was a pleasure chatting with you.
Leo, thanks for having me. It was a blast.
Yeah, thank you. And if you have any questions, you can either reach out to me in the description of this video. I'm also going to post Lewis's description in the video, and feel free to schedule a call with him at any time. And happy house hunting.